everyone, and Happy New Year. I am Val Montgomery, and I am talking again with my friend Ron. And we were talking about something that was happening in common day, what's happening on the news today. And Ron and I figured we would turn the camera on and record this conversation. Again, we are continuing our discussions with the Christ letters, Christ conscious letters. And we're going to hit record, and I'll let Ron introduce himself and continue the conversation.
Hi, everyone. This is Ron again, Tarot with Telic. Uh, we were wondering kind of how to wrap our letter one up. And our theme in there was about how Christ, when he was young, in his younger days, he's a rabble rouser. He was for the underdogs, but he just yelled at people a lot. And he said that he floated from place to place, did aimless jobs and things like that. And it wasn't until his conversion that he said, you know what? I had the right idea, but I'm doing this the wrong way. So he kind of had a change of heart, a change of conversion, to channel that in a better form. And that's very relatable today with the border crisis, people being sent everywhere, the homeless people we already have in our cities and various towns, and also just the people who have a home but maybe are struggling. And there's a huge need there for social justice. And I thought that might be a good thing to wrap this first letter up with.
When I think about like change of heart, when I think about, you know, operating in one way and then seeing things differently, um, personally, like I think about my mindset, my the way I move now. I don't know if it's age. I don't know if I've saw too much, witnessed too much, uh, felt too much, but I am more open now. I'm more susceptible to seeing how that woman with kids is going through so much strife or struggle. I can see it now as opposed to me only having two kids or one kid. I thought I couldn't relate. But now it's not about that. It's more or less about I understand how if sometimes when the car breaks down, you can't get to work. If you can't get to work, you don't get paid. You don't get paid, then the lights get cut off. It's that effect just keep happening, and people say, "Oh, I don't know how to, I don't know how that happened." I can understand that now. My mind has changed where it's not one way. Only my world is visible. I see how everything comes together. If I was at a border seeking asylum or seeking someplace safe, I can totally relate to that. Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think too, like that's kind of I feel like that was one of my messages I took from Christ's letters is that we all have to be aware of it. We all just can't stay in our homes, our four walls, and see things only our way. The rest of the world is coexisting. Things are happening. We have to be more understanding. See what's going on and do our part, do our share to navigate that, help with that, heal with that, care more about that. I guess I don't know, but I totally understand
Yeah,
that.
right, right. And it's a shame right now. There's such a huge political divide for it seems like everybody's either far right or far left, and I got to think there's people more in the middle who can come together and try to work up some solutions to really help solve all these problems. And because they're not going to go away. It's just manifesting and getting so much worse right now.
I
I,
agree with
I
you.
recently
Oh, go ahead. Go
went
ahead. No, I was gonna say it is the
uh,
people in the middle that's gonna make the difference.
yeah, definitely. And there's another blurb I'd seen recently that said that the wealthy, the mega rich, they're accumulating wealth at a faster pace every minute than the other 99 or 98% underneath them, which is really mind-boggling when you think that. Uh, and I guess I can only hope for a conversion of their hearts to do something like uh, I hate to drop a name like Bill Gates, but I think he's at least gotten partially philanthropic. And then Jeff Bezos' wife, and she's got passing out money too. Uh, I can only hope that some of these people who are accumulating this vast amount of wealth can at some point in their life realize that maybe what are they going to do with it all? Or is their whole purpose just to launch themselves to Mars and go live out there, or can they be a positive change in the world? And I would really hope that maybe in some way they might, feel a little bit more lighthearted and start letting some of that loose where uh, can help do some change where it really needs to be done.
So let me ask you that question then. So like if that type of wealth landed in our lap, what what would be the first thing or second thing that you would want to do if you're in this new set of pants, new skin, you're thinking differently. We're older, we're mature, we're not, we probably are not living, or chasing careers anymore. What could you do if you were in that same situation?
Yeah, exactly. And when I look back, I've always had enough. I've never had a lot, never had a lot of extra. But when the times when I've needed, things have had a way of working out. So if I was hit with a windfall, for instance, yeah, I gotta say right now, I don't think I know what to do with it, but I'd probably try to at least make sure there's enough there for me to be comfortable. But then, yeah, I would do something. And that's a great question. Where do you start at? Where do you start making a
Right.
difference? Uh, Even if it's just like in a hometown, shoring up food pantries for poor people, or I think maybe something better would be to help kids in schools, because I see a big need for that too. It seems like so many of the kids anymore, if they can't do a job without having a phone in front of their face, they really not interested in it. So to encourage trades and going to school and some other things just to help them be grow as individuals and be productive and not so dependent on the whims of what's on the internet right now. Because I have to think that the popularity from some of the TikToks and the YouTube things is probably going to be passing like everything else. And then so what's next after that?
As a marketer, I'm trained to say that it's here to stay, but I totally understand what you're saying. I feel like I have practiced this question like so many times, right? What would I do? Like my first reaction would be, because I'm closely related to the disability, the autism part of the world because of my son, I definitely would make companies hire disabled people. And when I say make, I know that's a strong word, but I know you have to, in the world we live in, create tax breaks or create incentives for people to do that. But I think that that's a huge loss there when people feel not capable, but giving them a job or giving them something to do. And I'm not saying it has to, return $1 million, but the act of getting up every single day, getting dressed, washing your face, brushing your teeth, going somewhere, turning a knob, turning a screw, I think it would give them a different set of purpose, right? That would be my first thing I would do is to give those folks, and maybe it would turn into a long-term career. Maybe it would reduce the amount of money the government paid for disability. I don't know, but my goal would be to give them something to work towards or some type of feeling of I've accomplished something. And then my second thing probably would be is taking young people. I've always felt that when young people, and I say like 17 to 30, don't travel the world, I felt like that age right there is when you're growing. And if you don't grow in that age, you get stunted. So I want them to try a new city or a new country, no matter who you are and what you are. I have met people in my life that have never left Chicago. And now that they're older, I have an aunt, never been on a plane, never left. She has been on a road trip, but now her words are, I'll never fly. I'll never go there. I'm just going to stay home. I know home. And I feel like it develops a closed mind. And I think that everybody should have an open mind, at least try something once. And I think that'll make the world a different place as far as how people feel and treat other people. They won't be so closed minded. Oh, that was a good
I
answer.
agree. I agree completely with that too. And I guess my oldest son kind of brought that up because he did go away to school. It wasn't far, but he moved away from home versus was a student living at home and attending school. And I can see where it broadened his mind quite a bit versus my other sons or these other people who don't get away, as you're pointing out there. I think it makes a huge difference. And I've been fortunate through my career to be able to travel pretty much around the U.S. and a little bit in Canada. And same thing, you do see that everything in your backyard is not where it is everybody else, and yet the world works, right?
Right,
Uh,
right.
so open that up and realize that. But at the end of the day, we're all the same. We just have some different custom styles, likes and dislikes.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. Um, so I like your topic. I like your topic that um, if we have a change of heart, if we have a change of thinking, a change, if we consider and embrace the change of seeing things differently, responding differently, acting differently, helping out differently, caring differently, and I think it would make the world a better place. I think that people would be more aware of what other people are going through as opposed to saying them over there or they did that. I think it would make a huge difference. And I have learned that from reading Christ's letters that God is just getting me to think differently, to understand why I thought the way I thought before, and just to consider it in a different light. So I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my hope would be that uh, people who do read the letters and would get involved with it realize that there are other points of view and try to be open and not so closed-minded on what you've heard before. Uh, I know it's kind of a hot popular topic of the day. There's people who don't believe the world is flat. We might have talked about this before, but how do you know? Until Columbus or whoever Magellan set out and uh, didn't fall off the edge. That was the popular thing. That was what was taught. That was the way the world was, and it was heretical to think not. Um, you really don't know from what our limited human exposure is where we can go. What can we do? What are the limits? We don't know that until we actually try.
I agree. Oh wow. All right, guys. So thank you for clicking on this video. Ron and I have decided to take one topic and focus on that one topic. Hopefully, we will convey a message to you that will be more on target for what you're seeking when you're searching YouTube for your videos. Our plan is to bring you more videos, but break them up by topic so that we can reach a bigger audience and share our thoughts and the Christ letters with you. So, again, thank you for watching. Happy New Year, and I'll let Ron close us out.
Thank you, Val, and yeah, have a great New Year, everybody, and try to look forward and realize that 2024 should be a year of blessings, and if you try and manifest, hopefully that'll come true for you.
I love that. It is manifesting season, right?
Mhm.